Hi, everybody. This is Ray Bagnuolo, and nice to be with you today. Welcome to OnQueer.net, where we talk about many different things. Mostly, we talk about if you are a queer person and seeking a place in a spiritual community, how we go about finding that. It's not always easy, and they are there. They are there for sure. Um, Today is June 25th, 2022, and it's been a tough day in some ways. The Supreme Court has struck down Roe versus Wade, which has been federal law for over 50 years, that protected a woman's right to make choices for her body when it came to decisions about abortion. I don't know anybody who is in favor of abortion, um, but I do know there are times in people's lives where situations and conditions put them into a place where they have some tough decisions to make, and they are deep, and they are moral, and they are difficult, and the ability to be able to make those decisions for your own body are critical. And then for us to be standing by and to be there to support others, as we hope they would support us when we make decisions that perhaps they don't agree with. It's been a tough day, and it's not just about women. It certainly is about men as well. This is about a decision of how anybody in the gender categories defines the use of their own body. And so it makes perfect sense that some of the conversation that follows today's decision by the Supreme Court is connected to the rights and privileges that have so long been taken from the queer community that we are still struggling to attain in an equitable way. That now there's some challenges that I'm sure we will see about gay marriage, same gender loving couple marriage being restricted by states across the country, or at least an attempt to do so. So these are things that are just so rooted in patriarchy and domination and greed, because this is all economic stuff. It's all economic stuff. Sure, there's a moral piece to it, and there are people that are to be committed for their strong beliefs, okay, even if I disagree with them. But it's also about greed. It's about control and power and getting, donations from your constituents by supporting this or supporting that, or moving up the chain of political prowess from governor of Florida to president of the United States, if you happen to be a governor in Florida and that happens to be your goal, and you're hoping to capture the vote and the support of the conservative folks in the country who identify with taking away rights from people from whom they disagree. This is crazy. It is literally crazy, in the sense that other people can have control over me and my body and my decisions about that. Um, so it's a tough day. And see, this is what I think. I think the faith communities have a particular place that is very powerful and very strong, and that we don't use it as often and in ways that are as demonstrative of the power that we have to make a difference and to influence others. And primarily, that comes down to loving one another. And that may sound facile, it's not. If we think about how much we could change the world just by really loving somebody who's in distress, who has difficult decisions to make, um, that we're not there to tell them what to do or what is right. This is what you should do, but to say, look, we're going to love you, whatever your choice is. I mean, I'm not talking about going out and robbing a bank. I'm not talking about things like that. So, we get caught up and people say, well, what about this and what about this? This is it's just distractions. It's just distract and deflect. I'm really talking about the love stuff. So it's not here yet, and practicing it in our own lives is challenging enough. But I do believe that when we do that, and if we keep that in mind as we look at some of these things going on around us, that we can find some place of peace, not inaction, but peace and calmness, because we understand the larger picture better. We understand that there are these dynamic forces that are struggling and trying to control things and gain power in ways that really is unconscionable. Can go on about that a lot, and that the faith communities in our country really need to stand up in a way that is not always about telling us what to do, but saying that we're going to love one another whatever you do. And if you're making a choice different than what we think is the right choice, well, we're not going to stop you from making that choice. we may speak in opposition to some of the things, but we're going to love you. There's nothing about love here. This is all about control, power, and might, and we have a lot of work to do, right? The last thing I want to say, and I've talked about this before, but on a day like this, we've had some changes in the laws on the ability to carry concealed weapons in this country, which affects several states, that made it difficult to walk around and carry a concealed weapon without a specialized permit. That's a concern. And at the same time, after almost 30 years of inaction, legislative inaction on gun control, Congress has actually passed some substantial changes or laws to change gun control for some common sense guidelines that we expect the president to sign very soon. So it's a mixed bag, and it always is. And that's why I talk a lot about living life on life's terms, to find out who we are, which is part of what faith communities can be so helpful, to get a center for yourself, and then to see these things going on around us, but not be tethered to them in a way that they throw us this way and throw us that, and we're all over the place, and you can't sleep at night, you can't stop thinking about things, and they're coming for me, and it's really critical that we don't let what appears to be total lack of consideration by those who are out there to take control of our lives in some ways, that they're not at our doorstep. They are out there, and we do have to address them. But we're not powerless in the regard of being able to, look, you, me, I'm responsible for my actions. You are too. And if a neighbor next door, as I have one of those, whose dog barks often, I can go storming across there because the dog gets me so riled up, or I can figure out a way to, as a friend of mine says, well, just don't listen to the dog. I don't know quite how to do that yet. But the point is that my friend is right. I have to find ways to not let myself be so connected to things going on that I lose a sense of who I am. Because you know what? You, me, all of us are created with the wonderful power of God in the way you know God and God's love. Incredible. I mean, just to think of being created and to be in this body. Who is it? We are in this body. The body is not here just to carry our head around. It's here. We embody this corporal structure that we have, this form. And we have choices about what we can do with that, and also about how we can get tossed and turned, or we can take charge and take control and make decisions about how we're going to try to help change things, but mostly to love one another. So on a day when certain sections of our government and places around the world, easy to find the absence of love, I challenge myself, and I suggest maybe you do the same, to look close to you and find a place where there is love, and to feel that and to share it, and to know that you are loved. You are loved, period, right? And you are beautiful, and you are made the way that you're supposed to be. Even if you're still exploring what that means, that exploration is part of who you are and what it is that you are called to do. That's how I see it. That's how I've lived my life. With some periods of time where I had to be reminded that that's the healthy, honest, true way to live my life. And I continue to try and do my best. So I have gone on and on, haven't I? But these things are unscripted, these little chats. And I hope that something I said here encourages you. And of course, I always love to hear from anybody who wants to send a little text or a note. And if you don't, that's fine too. So you be good? No. You be well? No. You be who you are. And all those other things will be true. All right. Look forward to seeing you, chatting with you next week. And thanks again, Ray Bagnolo from Sayville, New York, on June 25th, 2022. Yes, it's a Friday. Okay, we'll see you soon. Bye.